Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can achieve the maximum amount of scrap from the new fishing system in Rust. To start fishing you'll need a handmade fishing rod which can be purchased, but for 80 scrap it's not worth it, so it's better off to just craft it, which only costs 2 rope and 200 wood. It's the default blueprint, so don't worry about learning it. Then next you're going to need to get some bait. Here on Rust Labs you can see a list of all the different types of bait, and you can see on the right side it has their level. The higher the level the better stuff that you'll catch. To start off with, you can just use any meat that you have lying around, or what's an easier method of getting started is just go looking for some worms. Worms can be found in plants. This includes hemp bushes, berry bushes, and any food sources found along the river. A good strategy is therefore to go alongside a river and just pick up all the corn and pumpkins, and you should get a decent amount of worms just to get you started. To start fishing, click on the fishing rod and place the worm inside. Then look over a large body of water, hold down right click, and when the buoy turns blue you can left click. Once the float sinks underwater, this means that you've caught something. Hold S to reel it in and A and D to move your rod left and right. You can also move your screen around using your mouse, and it's important that you constantly look at the fish, as you don't want the fish to go too far left or too far right on the screen. If you listen closely, you'll hear that there's a noise that the fishing rod makes when it's about to break. When you hear this noise and your rod is bending a lot, it means that the line's about to snap. When you hear the rattling noise, you let go of your keyboard in order to ease tension on the line, and as the noise starts to fade, you can reel it in again. A couple of worms should be more than enough to get your first fish, and then once you have your first fish, you can gut it and then use the raw fish for bait. This creates an endless cycle as you can keep fishing and gutting your fish, and you'll always make a profit. Fishing in rivers and swamps is fine, you'll get a decent amount of scrap that way. However, if you fish out in the deep ocean, you have a chance to catch a small shark, which gives you a lot more scrap when you sell it. If you are going to fish in the ocean, make sure not to do it on the coast, as the sharks can only be found in waters 4.5 meters deep. Another great spot to fish is in the underwater labs. Not only can you find shark here, but you can also find orange roughy here, which can't be found anywhere else. Together these combine to give quite a generous amount of scrap when you sell it, and it's for this reason that this location is the best in terms of scrap per hour. However, if we factor in the time that it takes to get here, it pretty much evens out with the river and the ocean. However, if you loot the crates at the monument as well as bring along a keycard in order to do the puzzle, the trip's definitely worth your time, and if you have some spare time, you might as well fish in the best location. Once you're done fishing, make your way over to a fishing village in order to sell your excess fish. On average, if I was fishing in the river, ocean, or the underwater monument, I was getting around 1,000 scrap per hour from fishing. However, it varies drastically depending on what type of fish you catch. For example, if you don't see any shark in a while, then the scrap total from the underwater lab is going to be a lot lower. And to maintain 1,000 scrap per hour, you need to make sure that you're gutting the right fish, as each fish guts for its unique amount of raw fish, and each fish can be sold for a unique amount of scrap. Here's a useful chart that I made which will show you which fish should be gutted and which should be sold. As you can see, they all sell for a unique scrap price, and the amount of raw fish that they get when gutted is also unique. If you combine the two numbers, you can get a scrap per fish ratio, which basically tells you how much scrap you're losing when you gut them and use the raw fish for bait. As you can see with the salmon, for every one fish, it's costing us 1.1 scrap if we gut it. However, if we were to gut a small shark and use that raw fish, then it would be costing us 1.75 scrap. It's therefore much more efficient to gut your salmon before you gut your catfish, and so on down the line. You almost never want to be gutting your small sharks, as they sell for a lot more scrap per fish. Another way to stay more efficient is by using 2 fishing rods. After you reel in the fish, there's an animation which takes the caught fish off of the line and then casts out the float again. However, if you use 2 fishing rods, as soon as you reel in your first fish, you can quickly switch to the second fishing rod, and much more quickly you can cast it out again. This saves you a lot of time in the long run and will result in much more scrap per hour. Another useful tip is if you have a base surrounding a 2x1 body of water in a river, you can actually fish right inside of your own home with pretty decent rates. Keep in mind that if you have a 2x1, you need to make sure that you're going all the way up to the edge and then looking to the exact diagonal opposite corner. You need to make sure that you're standing on the very edge of the foundation, as if you stand too far back, when you reel in the fish, the line will snap. And that's all the information I have for you today surrounding fishing. Of course, this is a very new update and I'm very new to fishing, so there's probably many tips that I've missed out on, and if you have any, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below to share it with everyone else. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.